Parents answer questions about Forest Preschool. Why did you first consider Forest Preschool?
Because it's completely outdoors, and that was, very important for me because majority of other programs around here don't offer that. And
because I wanted a program that was mostly outdoors and mixed ages, I think was important to me, like 3, 4, and 5-year-olds all in one class. I found Rewilding School. It was a good fit.
But we ended up going with the traditional school, which was actually a big mistake. And it was not a good fit for her at all. And I really started to see her personality change. And I ended up with a lot of careful consideration withdrawing her from the traditional school. And when I called, the first place I thought of was Forest Preschool. So I called and spoke to Megan for a very long time, and just her responses through the email about how carefully they pay attention to the kids and just kind of help them grow and develop and monitor what's going on. I just felt very comfortable about having her switch and starting later in the year, and it was the best decision that we ever could have made. I saw her come back to life. I saw her be herself again.
So we moved out here from the city a few years ago. The big reasons was to be closer to nature so that our children could really live in the actual world, on our planet Earth. And then we quickly realized that out here there are so many structured activities and sports where they really don't interact with nature, including the school is always often indoor with just a little recess time.
I didn't want a program that was sitting at desks a lot, doing worksheets, or using devices a lot.
And I was just totally sold by the idea that you could read a book about bugs and then go on a hike and find a rotting tree stump and excavate for bugs. I thought that was really interesting and fun, and kind of hooked me right off the bat.
An outdoor program where she could learn about socializing and learn about nature and have fun and give us a few hours a day when we could get our jobs done.
How did your child adapt to the natural elements?
Actually almost prefer the rainy days because they get to wear their awesome waterproof suits that Rewilding School recommended we get and jump around in muddy puddles without worrying about anyone stopping them.
So that was something that I was worried about. That was one of my concerns when I was thinking to enroll my son. And I have to be honest, the team at the time when I spoke prior to enrollment, they said that they've never had a child or family pull out because of weather-related issues or the inability to withstand the weather-related issues throughout the course of a year. And they were really spot on. I was surprised, my husband and I were both really surprised that our son just took to it. I have to say that the recommendations for the equipment that the team recommended was incredibly correct, very durable.
They always come home dry underneath and full of stories of all the things they discovered and all the little critters and plants they discovered in the rain. They also can eat and read books under a tent, so they can still be outside without always having to be super wet. In the winter time, I was really surprised that they never once asked to stay home from school.
And he was prepared. It's all about layers, layering, and after having had this low incremental increase and change in the season and being outside with the change in the season, we saw that his stamina for outdoor was incredible.
Didn't know if we were tough enough to go through the winter. It had never occurred to me that you could have your child outside the whole winter. So I actually talked in depth with a mom friend that I knew who had her daughter in Forest Preschool the year before, and she just gave me her whole list of exactly the things that she had gotten for her child, but it was actually much more limited than I thought. It was really just like one super warm, like soft wool base layer and this really incredible like oversuit that we got from from this company, and it was sort of no big thing. She was warm the whole winter. There was never really an issue with that, and it was super easy to get her dressed because she just wore the same thing every time. So that was that was definitely a revelation that they could be outdoors the whole winter.
How has Forest Preschool benefited your child?
Yes, he's gotten calmer and a little more grounded, which is great because he was having a little bit of trouble adjusting to his previous school, feeling a little bit trapped, I think, and this kind of allowed him to be a lot more freedom, a lot more opportunity to explore and to be himself, I think, was the most important thing.
There's a big body of research that comes out these days that says that being in nature is extremely important, especially for the developing brains. And he's calmer, and when he comes back home, he's just, more content and happier because he gets to, kind of get the steam out here. And plus, just being in nature does not keep you in a sort of contained box, and you physically can do many things that look odd in a regular classroom setting. Here they look normal because it just doesn't look odd. You can grab a stick, you can do things, you can jump, and it doesn't just look abnormal. And that does not make the child feel that they're doing something wrong all the time.
Sensory wise, like she would get her shirt a little bit wet and be like, I need to change. And just picking her up at school, just happy as a clam, covered in mud, head to toe, like without any qualms. Just, I think it's really just like helped her learn how to just roll with things, like just as they come.
I love that it's just really stripped down. There's no toys, no over-structured day. You just show up in the woods and you figure out what to do with what you have, and that just really has made her creativity explode. And even at home, there was a real change in how much easier she could play independently after starting the program, because she could just turn anything around into something to amuse her. So that was great to see.
How would you say the teachers have been during your experience?
I just felt like even the conferences you have with the teachers, just an hour-long conference was just so valuable and special, and you could tell that every teacher cared so much about each child as an individual and just wanted him or her to grow to the best of their ability.
He's always loved all of his teachers and always looked forward to seeing them, and I always look forward to seeing him interacting with everybody because he genuinely enjoys it. So I think the teachers have all been stellar.
We all made him feel welcome right away, which really helped. And he came home every day and was like, I love school, I really like school, and that really kind of encouraged us to know we made the right decision.
Yeah, the teachers, I feel like they do such a great job of sort of supporting the kids where they are, but also giving them so much freedom to work together and just kind of use that collaborative imagination.
What would you say to prospective parents?
I would say just do it. I mean, one of the things that I was a little bit reticent about when we were initially looking at it was the fact that it is all outdoors, and regardless of the weather, obviously there's limitations, but they're outdoors in decently tough conditions. I think Miles has grown so much from being part of the Forest Preschool. He's not only learned so much, but he's developed as a person, and I really enjoy seeing that. So if you're even thinking about it, I highly recommend doing it.
I'd say I have a hard time thinking of anything that would be a deal breaker for me. Really all you need is some good bug spray and some good shoes, and they're good to go. And I think if there's anything you feel on the fence about, you can always talk to Eric or the teachers, and they're very honest about what you can expect, and they're also very good in offering ways to support anything your child might need as well.
Have more questions? Visit rewildingSchool.com or follow us on Facebook or Instagram.